What's up everyone, welcome back to Switchcraft, and it's a great day to be a gamer. With the recent release of Octopath Traveller taking gaming by storm, I've compiled the 3 golden rules for ensuring you can squeeze the maximum amount of joy and success for your experience. Role-playing games are notorious for being time vampires and can require an investment of hundreds of hours. So I'm going to share with you some simple strategies for getting the most out of your playtime regardless of the title. Let's talk about it. I've been playing RPGs for years and years, and ones that naturally offered varying degrees of difficulty. Some have come naturally to me, while others really took some getting used to. Some have been extremely simple, like my first one ever, Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy, while others had such intricate mechanics that they were still making me watch tutorials over 30 hours in, a la Xenoblade Chronicles 2. What really prompted me to make this video was the suboptimal play I've seen across YouTube when it came to Octopath Traveller specifically. Many gamers, even the ones that made the game seem easy at first, were promptly crushed in later stages of the game and appear to have been missing out on many side quests, secrets, basic and intermediate game mechanics, and a more complete experience. There's nothing worse than the feeling of getting stuck and not even knowing what to do next. The first and perhaps most important golden rule, the rule that would solve most of your problems, is to grind bit by bit. This will oddly make grinding less noticeable and less daunting, because it'll be split up into manageable chunks. Most RPGs will have you embark on a long, winding, and map-crossing journey across the world. These journeys are traditionally highlighted by cities or towns or some sort of checkpoint where you must travel to for the story to progress. In the meantime, you have the dreaded random encounters and seemingly endless and meaningless battles against weak or maybe moderately strong enemies that usually have little to nothing to do with the main plot. These are the bane of many gamers, and they would do anything to avoid them. They're included in the game as a way for you to level up your character to a point where you have a hope in hell of defeating the next boss in that next city or town. They're a great way to experiment with those other moves your characters know that you've never touched, and a way to develop strategies with game-specific battle mechanics without the fear of being crushed. I personally go out of my way to traverse slowly around the world and avoid fleeing or escaping random encounters regardless of the game. Don't get me wrong, you still will very likely experience difficulty spikes, and you will have to devote time to leveling up your characters to avoid getting stomped by the next boss or mini-boss. But the time spent while doing this will be drastically reduced. As a side note, what I find myself doing, and this might be a little bit of my OCD bubbling to the surface in Octopath, is ensuring my characters are at the nearest 5th or 10th level before even attempting the boss fight for the first time. So far, I've had lots of success. Golden rule 2 is to be curious, and it ties in nicely with rule number 1, grind bit by bit. If there are 2 paths I can take, I take them both. If I see an interesting item in the distance, I go get it. If there's something suspicious on my map or in my field of view, I go investigate it. If missing a particular ability prevents me from opening a treasure chest, say, or exploring, I make a point of coming back later to check it out. If there's an in-game character, I'm gonna be social and talk to them. You get the idea. If rule number 1 ensures that you're usually strong enough for the story to proceed, rule number 2 ensures you miss as few secrets, side quests, items, and story add-ons as possible. Golden rule number 2 is what gives the game its 3rd dimension. Whether you're playing in 8-bit, 16-bit, 64-bit, or a million bits, guess what? Exploring everything and everywhere means you'll be subject to some inadvertent grinding. Not for hours at a time with the one objective of beating the next boss. That's boring. Instead, if you're looking in every nook and cranny, you'll be constantly making discoveries, discovering Easter eggs, and getting a whole lot more out of the game while leveling up. Trust me, the time will fly by. As an added bonus, you'll naturally develop a deep understanding of the game and very rarely not know what to do next. You'll avoid nasty spoilers and costly strategy guides, enjoy the satisfaction of figuring things out for yourself, and be the go-to gamer for your friends when they get stuck. Become the RPG Oracle. Okay, golden rule number 3 for RPG fun and success. Embrace failure. Embrace failure and learn from it. Even if you know rules 1 and 2 exactly, it doesn't mean you're guaranteed not to get the odd game over from time to time. Maybe you experience one of those difficulty spikes that you weren't ready for. You run out of items. You forget to heal before a battle. Your first strategy isn't as effective as you thought it would be. Or the battle surprises you with an entirely new mechanic that you weren't prepared to take advantage of. It's okay. Take a breath. Try again. All of your work was not done in vain. All of your bit-by-bit grinding means you're probably not too far off from how strong you need to be. All of your curious exploration means you probably know where to get any useful items, and you already have several backup strategies ready to be unleashed next time. Learn from your failures and avoid trying the same thing repeatedly if you're not having success. That's insanity. Instead, put those lessons you learned from experimenting to use. Often, brute force will not be enough to beat any boss worth their salt. Very often, game designers have specific things in mind that you need to do in certain scenarios, and it's up to you to figure out what each situation demands you do to succeed. Well, there you have it, my 3 golden rules for RPG fun and success. RPGs can be daunting and require a massive time commitment. They aren't necessarily the easiest games to pick up and play. But if you follow my 3 rules, I promise you that you'll be good at them, have fun, and ultimately find success. Let me know what some of your favorite RPGs are down in the comments, and consider subscribing and sharing this video with a friend if you like what you saw. It's a great day to be a gamer. Switchcraft out.